a chance to take the... Ah. Oh, I almost timed it. All right. I'm here. I'm here. My mouse kind of isn't because the mouse wheel's still fucked up. Despite me buying a new mouse because the other one had the same exact issue. Maybe I need to buy a new mouse and not a replacement mouse. But whatever. Yeah. I'm here. No music. Whoops. Can you tell I have not streamed in a while? Because I have not streamed in a while. And I'm going to be talking about that throughout the course of this stream in particular, more than likely. Hopefully. I am tired. I am very tired, in fact. Just kind of why. Just kind of why I haven't... kind of why I haven't been streaming, pretty much. The last couple of, actually about a month, maybe more. I don't even know. Welcome back, new here. Been a bit. It has been a bit. It has been. Yeah, the last... I gotta look, actually. The last stream that I did was probably back in early June, I think. If my thing will load, I'll fact check that, but nothing wants to load on this computer anymore. Which sucks to say because this is still kind of brand new. But it's just probably because I bloated my Firefox with stuff. Yeah, it's been more than a month since I've streamed. Really anything at all. I think even so, the last month that, had decent, anything was April. And even then, there was only a handful of streams then. I didn't do anything in May, except for one stream, and then I didn't do anything in June except for one stream. So here's my once-a-month stream, essentially. Ain't that cool? There's a few reasons why. That is a wild not to stream. That is true. There's a few reasons why I just haven't been streaming. That I'll get more into detail here today, hopefully. And then I'll probably make kind of a Cliff Notes version. I don't know if I'm gonna make it into a video, probably just as a post or whatever. I guess. So I don't really know where to start because there's a lot to talk about. I haven't really done a chatting stream in a bit. It's been a while since I've done, like, actual chatting. So, got a lot to say. I'm trying to figure out how I should have probably have made some sort of a note thing or bullet thing being like, hey, hit this first and then we'll spark it from there. Health-wise, I mean, physically speaking, I'm fine. Mentally, could be worse. I've had worse spurts. I've just been busy. That's really, like, I guess the biggest thing. I've just been too busy. Too busy doing other things. Too busy just doing stuff in general, I guess. It's gotten to the point to where I can't really find the time to stream. I went on a 1-week trip to Indianapolis 2 months ago almost. It was back in May. Went to the 500, the Indy 500. And ever since I've came back, I just haven't been completely motivated to stream. Not necessarily because of anything mentally, but just rather, like, I've just gotten busy to the point to where I just don't have the time. And then even when I do find the time, it's just not not a priority for me. So I've just kind of been doing other things, been doing other time wasters, if you will, just kind of letting myself stay busy elsewhere, which has been fine. It's just, you know, with streaming, it's just kind of been that it's been that unfortunate sacrifice out of all this, I should say. Because I don't know. I've talked about this before, but I enjoy streaming. But it's thank you for the follow, by the way, Savage. I enjoy streaming.
Savage_6VT on Twitch is now following. Thank you.
Well, not speaking of, but I just gotta do that. Okay, there we go. I do enjoy streaming, but probably not as much anymore as I used to. Especially since I've been also looking to kind of go on a different path with my life here shortly soon. It's kind of leading me towards an unfortunate thing that I kind of want to talk about, which is I feel like I'm nearing the end of my VTubing stuff. I hate to say that because it's pretty rather unfortunate. So I've been doing this for close to 4 years. We are nearing that 4-year mark. But as much as I have had, like... So, there's a few reasons what's making me move away from VTubing. The biggest, I will immediately say the biggest thing first, is when I started VTubing, I had to abandon what I was doing before VTubing. Right? So, little bit of backstory. Right, 4 years ago, which is crazy for me to say, back in 2021. I hate saying 2021 was 4 years ago, but it's reality that we live in. In 2021, I was doing YouTube not as VTubing, but as something else. Personal stuff, right? It wasn't really anything spectacular. It was just me posting dumb stuff, memes, shit posts, and a bunch of other stuff. But that channel was pretty big. I say big, but compared to what I have now, it was big. But I was like, you know, this is kind of like, maybe I want to try something different. I'll try something different. I'll try VTubing. And then I went to VTubing, and now here I am. Except the path that I took was not the greatest path. Not in my eyes, at least. I abandoned that channel, like legitimately stopped using it, stopped touching it, stopped doing anything on it. Because simply put, I wasn't going to have any time to focus on it. And I wasn't going to juggle 2 channels with 2 widely different content styles. Because that would have been too much in my eyes. So I put all my chips onto the VTubing stuff. Has a nice change of pace. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna do streaming for a little bit. So I did it. And my first year, I was with an agency. And moderate success, I'd say. Not the greatest, but for a startup agency, fine. Right? But I didn't want to be in an agency, especially a startup agency that I knew was going to become defunct within a couple of years. Foreshadowing. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take my IP and I'm going to run continuously with what I got, but I'm going to be independent. The issue with that is I took all of that success and had to restart again. But thankfully, I was able to keep most of everything, but I would say like barely half of everything from the agency stuff smoothly transitioned to these accounts, because these accounts have been running for several years now. But yeah, like the major reason what has been taking a lot of my motivation away from VTubing, essentially streaming, is now I'm starting to think I should go back to the old channel. And like I said earlier, I don't want to put all my time and energy on 2 channels while I'm also juggling a full-time job. I can barely manage 1, let alone 2, with a full-time job, and a god-awful schedule. Because I work 3rd shift, so I'm up during the nights and sleeping during the days, most times than not. I thought at the very least I could still be consistent with streaming in the morning, like right now. Yeah, kind of hard to when, like now, I get, tired. Just, my voice feels gone, despite me not doing anything, I guess. So yeah, like, I mean, 3rd shifts for me aren't really anything bad because I'm used to it. I've done it for years. Right? So I'm used to it. I kind of enjoy it. But the only thing is that when I am wanting to stream, especially like this time a day, it isn't the greatest. And even if I wanted to stream earlier, I feel like it would not be better. But it's like a whole vicious cycle, I guess. I like to stream around like 5-6 o'clock in the morning and go beyond from that. But that's really about that, to be honest. So that's another thing too. I've just struggled so much with consistency, right? Like the biggest advice that I've been given, that anybody will give when streaming or doing any content creation for that matter, gotta be consistent. If you ain't consistent, then you ain't gonna really amount to what you want, right? And it throws you also all over the place, right? You can be a little inconsistent, but you have to mainly be consistent, right? At the same time. So that has not been me. I keep telling myself that I need to be consistent. I cannot. I just can't. Because there's been far too many times where I'm just like, I'm gonna stream now. I'm gonna stream this day. I'm gonna stream at this time, at this day, and do this. But the moment that time comes, like maybe a couple hours before, maybe something happens, throws my mood completely off, and I'm just like, never mind. Just never mind. Right? And I'd probably be a bit more consistent if I wasn't battling graveyard shift hours all the time. Like, I'd probably be slightly more consistent, if not way more consistent. Like, if I were to do something different, but the job that I have is a fine enough job. It ain't the best, but it's hard to get it nowadays, to be honest. So there's that. So yeah, like I said, the biggest reason is I've been wanting to focus on creating videos again, but not for this channel in particular. Just because I just haven't felt like streaming. I don't think streaming should be a priority for me. Not like a massive one, at the very least. Which sucks because, like, there really hasn't been, like, a huge negative experience for me. It's just life, just kind of doing life things. And, you know, I kind of thought I wouldn't be one of those guys that would be in this situation, because, like, you see it a lot, especially if somebody's been doing VTubing for several years. You think that they will never disappear once they pass the 3-year, 4-year mark of streaming, and all of a sudden they're just like, they're kind of there. And, you know, I really don't want to be one of those guys that leaves, because I enjoy it. Despite all the flaws, despite all the bullshit that goes on, at least once a month, throughout the course of the industry and everything in general in life, I guess. It's like, I really didn't want to announce that I might be graduating soon, but it does seem to be the case, because I just can't stay consistent, and I don't think trying to force myself to stream is gonna do any wonders for me, to be honest. Plus, like I said, with wanting to also start creating videos for a channel that's, I would say, bigger, but it hasn't really been touched in several years, so it may not be in the greatest of shapes. But there's still that chance. I don't know. I'd have to start posting on there again. Maybe it'd just be better, right? And also, with that comes editing, right? Like, I took a mostly, I don't want to say a break from editing, because there's always been some editing stuff by me, right? So I've done a lot of editing on this channel and the other channel as well, the other agency channel, I guess I should emphasize more. I've done editing, right? And I enjoy the hell out of it. And when I started editing videos for that other channel that I abandoned, but like actually taking more time and, you know, effort into it, I realized I enjoyed it. Like, I didn't think I would, but I enjoyed it for what it was. So with streaming, you kind of don't get that. Like, yeah, I could maybe do some scuff edits in like OBS, but to me that just kind of isn't the same. I kind of see myself more as like an editor right now. I wouldn't say I'm the flashiest or the best at it, but I just do what I do what I want and enjoy it for what it is. So there's that. So the one thing that I do want to talk about is a little bit of, I don't want to say drama, but a little bit of something that happened last week, or I guess multiple weeks ago, that I made public last week. So this pertains to music. I might as well talk about it now. I wanted to wait just a little bit longer to talk about it, but I don't think I'm going to be able to just hold off for stalling it for much longer. So, story here is, for those that don't know, I do make music. I am on Spotify and every other streaming platform for the most part. I would say widely known platform. I wouldn't say all. I'm not on every single one of them, but I'm on a good chunk of them now that I've actually looked at them. But anyways, I've been making music since I started streaming as a VTuber, because I've always had a little I've always had a little knock for making music, but I never had the programs for it, especially professionally, and B, I never had a platform to make music until I started becoming a VTuber, and then I realized, wow, if I actually take the time and actually get like a, DAW and take the time to figure out how to distribute the music, maybe this is how I get my foot in the door with making music. Now, as young as I am, I have no real massive experience, at least back then, obviously, like a couple years ago when I started, no experience in making music professionally, and basically everything that goes into it, right? I'm a one-man crew, for the most part. So I have a couple buddies of mine, personal buddies, that are just as into music as I am. And they also were they're kind of like the same situation as me, right? Where they don't have a whole lot of experience. They don't know what they're doing. But we kind of have like a slight partnership where it's like, hey, I may ask for help. Hey, I may, do this with you, vice versa, right? If you can help me, I can help you, do this, do that, right? So, a good chunk of my instrumentals for the covers, mostly covers, were done by either a personal buddy of mine that didn't really care if they were credited or not, which I would credit them, but not only do they not have an artist name, so I don't want to personally take their name and put it on I don't want to do that. But yeah, anyways. Most of my instrumentals for the cover songs that I've done in the past and future were done by some of my personal friends, because they know how to, play. They know how to play, they just don't know how to, especially digitally, get stuff going, Some of it I have had, commissioned and, just asked for by, independent ones, so there's that, but, those were all, instrumentals for covers. All of my original songs are me. I've created every single piece. With the exception of 2 songs. During the last album that I released, which was The Falling Waves, I made a couple songs, and I was wanting to get it out by last October. Yeah, I wanted to get it out by last October on the 15th, because that is my birthday, and I was like, I am wanting to get this going, get it distributed, gotta get it up. I gotta get it out. And I started working on it in, I think it was May last year or April, around this time last year, maybe a bit earlier, obviously. So I was like, hey, I would enjoy getting some help, because I don't want to throw out only 3 pieces when I kind of want more. And obviously this is a me thing, a mistake by me. I wanted something, I was like, hey, if you want to make anything original, if you have anything that's original, right, and you want me to distribute it, if you don't mind, send it to me. That's fine. I don't care. If you don't care, I don't care, right? If you have anything that you made that's original, or if you have anything that was something you started but you just kind of didn't finish, if you don't mind, I wouldn't mind doing something with it and putting it out there. So a buddy of mine sent me a good couple tracks. Not a lot, but enough to where I was like, oh wow, some of these fit, some of these don't, some of these are way out there, some of these, you know, whatever. Had my opinions on them. I didn't think anything of it. Right? Got them, downloaded them, did a little bit of tinkering with them to make them sound slightly better. Then they were out. Little did I know that, thankfully I didn't do all of them. It's only 2 tracks. There was like a handful more that I could have put on the album, but I didn't because they didn't fit with the vibe and the style of the album. And I was just like, these just aren't great for albums, or they're not my thing. Whatever. So it was only 2, but those 2 that I picked were AI generated. I didn't know until I was told. I don't have the ear for that shit. I'm very against that shit because I think that, like, my opinions are as regurgitated as somebody that hates AI, right? Like, I don't really need to be that kind of guy that needs to go out fucking explaining myself for this hatred, right? As a creator, not only a video creator, but a content creator as a whole and musician. A wannabe musician. I call myself that, but listen, I'm like still the least experienced musician maker this planet has ever fucking seen, right? Like, I know what I'm doing in terms of what I'm hearing, and if I'm hearing good music, it's good to me, right? But yeah, so the last couple of weeks, I have been scuffly making, at the very least, 2 tracks to replace those 2 tracks on the album. However, this has led me to a very snowballed situation where I've had to take down the entire album from the streaming services, and I cannot re-upload it without keeping those generated tracks on, which I don't want to do. Fuck that. So I basically had to remake the entire album. Not necessarily all of it. I have all the songs still, thank fucking God. I still have all the songs on my computer that weren't generated. Boldly weren't. And I've had to remake those 2 songs, and I was like, fuck this. I'm not even gonna make them in the same vein as the generated tracks because that'll piss me off, right? Trying to, because I don't want to recreate it, right? I do not want to no, I don't want to do that, right? Plus, I wanted to see what I could do music-wise again. Gotta throw my own little taste into it and see if, you know, if I could remake it, how could I make it better? And I did. So there will be, the album will be back out eventually. It will be brand new, so it won't be labeled as 2024, and it won't be, you know, in my discography from that area, which kind of sucks, but whatever. But I classified it as a remake, and the 2 tracks, actually there's 3 new tracks, so you get a bonus one for the efforts, because there was one that, it was like a B-side that I kind of left off. Actually, there were 2 B-sides that I left off the album, because I was like, I didn't really want to, like, I didn't really want to put them on the album. I was probably going to put them as singles eventually, but just, you know, just didn't want to throw them out on the album anytime soon. But like, because of this whole remake thing, I was just like, fuck it. Whatever. Whatever. So you'll get 2 new songs, plus the 2 remake songs. So there's that. For those that are in the know from the original Falling Waves track list, there'll be 2 new ones added on to that. So there you go. I believe they should all be, should all be good, I would hope. But yeah, I have no release date for it because I sent it out as soon as I possibly could. Now it's just like, when you get it up, you get it up. I don't care. It could be today, it could be next week, it could be 2 weeks from now. More than likely, 3 weeks from now is when it will be out. Realistically speaking, probably a month, because I don't know why, but every time, the last few times I've tried to distribute any sort of song, whether it was the BGM compilation, or the Stitches cover that I just did, it's been a month in distribution hell, for whatever fucking reason. So I don't really care. It is a little bit annoying. It's like, it's annoying more so frustrating. I don't know. But yeah, thankfully, I think that whole situation took care of itself. And I'm just going to try and move away from it as fast as possible because I don't want to keep talking about that. I do not want to bring that up a whole lot because I'm not a big fan of that situation. So yeah, my lesson was learned. If I'm going to make anything original, I'm going to make it because I cannot fucking trust anybody else with my music, essentially. Cover songs, they're still going to be, you know, at the very least, instrumentally produced, not by me, because I am not good enough to play the stuff that I want to play for covers, which I don't think is a bad thing, because like I feel like everybody that's released a cover song in their time as a VTuber has have to have at least somebody make the arrangement for it. It'd be crazy if somebody had to, you know, make everything from scratch by themselves, right? I mean, and also make it like super high quality, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, the songs that I did create, they are more in line with the style and the vibe that the album has. There we go. Okay. There was something on the floor that I had to grab. There we go. Okay. So yeah, the newer songs that are going to be out, they're going to be more in line with the vibe and the style of the Falling Waves album, which is more of an ambient slash slightly lo-fi instrumental album. My first album, The Journey, is a full-on piano instrumental that I created because I was brand new to making music. And I kind of wanted to do something similar with the second album, and then after that second album, lean more towards into guitars, because that's what I got, personally. But I was hoping that I could start on that. Start creating original stuff with guitars and shit. But that didn't happen. Not now, at least. And now I gotta focus... Now I had to focus on the Falling Waves again, despite me thinking I was done with that, but I was not. There's that. So yeah. In terms of the music, though, I am going to continue making music under the same name, hey, and all that, because there was a point where I was thinking about rebranding completely and changing the music page into something completely different. But the very unfortunate thing, maybe unfortunate, maybe, I don't know. I am not able to change the name that easily on streaming platforms. So I tried, but it would have been hell to do that. So I was just like, you know what? I'm not even going to bother. I'm not even going to bother. So even if I stop streaming as a VTuber, I'm still going to be making music. Maybe not as often. Or maybe just as often. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not entirely too sure yet. There's a few other things I want to talk about too, but I don't want to get through everything before 2 hours, so there's that. I don't really want to talk too much about this because I feel like it's a very not touchy subject, but it's a subject where if I say something wrong, it's going to make me sound incredibly ungrateful. But I want to tie it back slightly to what I was mentioning earlier about my main reason why I haven't been streaming and why I feel like streaming is not going to be a big time thing for me in the future of this year and moving forward. But I am going to have to talk about it eventually, but yeah, here we go. As somebody that, 4 years ago wanted to get into VTubing with the hopes that I could build a community, with the hopes that I could build a follower base similar to those of the smaller VTubers that I watch, even, right? Not necessarily the partner pushers, but the ones that are community driven, if you will, right? Like the streamers that got the community, streamers that got the all that, right? Somebody that wanted to become a VTuber for that reason, I feel like I am not going to achieve it. I feel like I'm not gonna hit that mark. And because of that, that is also another reason. It's not a big reason. It's a reason, but not the reason. Right? Like, it makes my decision to move back to the old channel a little bit easier. Because, like I said, the channel that I abandoned, that I want to go back to, I left when it had 1,500 subscribers on YouTube. I didn't do Twitch at all. I didn't stream anyways, so it didn't matter. And like I said, the videos that I was putting out weren't necessarily high quality videos, but they were just videos that I shitpostily make, and most of them were in jokes with my personal friend group that I'm still with technically. But still, and a few gaming videos too, might I add. But anyways, 1,500 subs, good amount of attention, and there's a part of me that wants to go back to it because really, I just want to go back to the mindset that I just want to make videos for the sake of making videos. And not having to stream all the time. And feel like I need to, I guess, you know, go crazy with streaming. And try to be an entertainer. I don't know. I don't know how to say this without sounding ungrateful, because that's not what I want. I really want to sound as grateful as I possibly can, even. But yeah, like I think mainly this just hasn't been working out from top to bottom. Like, I tried my best to make it work. It just really hasn't, because of my lack of consistency, my lack of networking, and my lack of, I guess, just patience. And like I said, I would just probably prefer if I kind of took a step back. But I don't know when to completely pull the trigger. That's another thing. Because I'm making it sound like this is the last stream I'm ever going to do. It's not. But I feel like it's close to happening. Like, it just has this... just has this feeling in me that it's like... I don't know how much time I got left for streaming. And VTubing, I guess. And I don't think I want to overstay my welcome, I guess. Because if it's not going to work out, then it's just not going to work out. Right? And I've been making it pretty clear that I don't want to quit VTubing because of VTubing matters. But rather, I just want to quit because I want to do something different. I don't want to continue doing something that hasn't really been working. Compared to my expectations. Because even if making videos doesn't work, oh well. It's whatever. The point of making the videos is not that I want to make the videos for millions to see, but rather I just want to make videos for the sake of making videos, right? But with streaming, it's a little different because my expectations were different, right? I wanted to do so much more with streaming, but at the same time, I don't want to do so much for streaming, and yet it feels like I am not getting rewarded. That's the best way that I could put it. I just feel like I'm not being rewarded for the streams that I do. And yeah, I just don't like that feeling. I just don't like that feeling that I got where, you know, I want to stream, I want to do something creative, I want to be, I want to do something that's unique, I want to do stuff that's fun, innovative, and entertaining. and I've been doing that for 3.5 years, and I feel like I've been very little rewarded with it. Like, don't get me wrong, the rewards that I've gotten at this point, really good. I love it. But when you've been doing this for 3 years, almost 4, closer to 4 than 3 years, right? That's my chair. When you've been doing that for so long, right? And yet, every time that there's a chance to be shown other people's success in shorter amount of times, you see it almost every day, every hour, right? Maybe not every hour, but every day, to say the least, right? Then I look over on my end and it just feels like I've got nothing. Like I just got nothing. And I have no power. I have no ability to control that. Like I don't feel in control of what I'm rewarded with, right? That makes my decision easier to go back to just making videos on a channel that, even if I've abandoned 4 years ago, I could probably go back to it with open arms. Knowing that I do not have to worry about feeling rewarded or not. I don't need to feel rewarded for making videos. I can, if I do, that's great. If they perform well, that's great. I know that there's a few people that'll watch them. And that's fine. I just want to upload videos for the sake of making videos because I like doing that. I like being an editor and a content creator. But with VTubing, like I said, it's like I came into this thinking that, you know, maybe in a couple years, and by a couple I mean like now, I would have like a very solid community. Like, I'm not saying my numbers would be high. I'm just saying that it would be great, you know, great enough to where I wouldn't feel like I'm stuck, right? Like, I'm trying my best not to sound horribly ungrateful because that's not what I'm trying. But it's just more so I'm frustrated with streaming. And I talk about this almost every time I talk on this subject. It kind of never changes. Where it's like, I know that it takes people years to get communities, and I know that it could potentially be like another 3 or 4 before I hit that mark. But I don't know if I want to wait that long, you know? Especially when I also know that I have another channel that I could be making videos on. Like, that's the thing. Like, if this was my only thing, if this was my only channel, if this was my only platform to make videos and streams, then my whole situation would be much different. I would be like, yeah, I don't care if I get rewarded or not, because hey, it's better than nothing. But knowing that I have a channel that I abandoned, like I say fully abandoned, like like the dust is crazy on that channel, right? I abandoned a channel that while it's not a great channel by any means, after 3 years of streaming, I still cannot be even in the same vein as that other channel. That kind of brings my mood down a bit. Knowing that I'm doing something wrong, but I don't know what, and it's driving me up the walls. I mean, I know what I'm doing wrong. It's my lack of consistency. Yes, I know, but and like I said, a lot of this could be different if if the levels were closer between the two. Maybe I would be able to juggle the two channels more often. And I've even thought about it to where it's like, hey, you know, I could easily separate the two. Where it's like one channel could be for videos, one channel could be for streaming. Obviously, this one for streaming, you know that. But the other channel could be used for making videos of any sort of other topics that I may not really want to, you know, get into on stream, or, you know, would be better suited for a video rather than, you know, this. Right? Like, this could just be more so a streaming channel, while the other one, the abandoned one, is a video channel, right? Like, I thought about that. That was kind of where I was going, actually. I was kind of thinking about doing that most likely. Because, hey, you know, if I feel like streaming, even if it's once a month or once every other week, hey, take a look at this. I'll be streaming on this channel, and I would have the same amount of attention, if not barely less than the same, I guess. Maybe more, maybe less. Definitely, you know, it wouldn't be much of a difference in my eyes, which would be great if there wasn't much of a difference between the two channels. That I could juggle the two a little bit easier, and I wouldn't have to be like, oh, I should put more focus on this channel or put more focus on that channel. But instead I have to come up with this not so great decision, because that's not the case. I don't have the level between the two being pretty equal to next to equal with each other. Rather, it's quite of a steep curve. Like I said, I'm basing this only on YouTube because that's only where I do stuff on the abandoned channel. That channel, like I said, nearing 2,000 subscribers now. For some reason, it gained a couple hundred, even though I haven't touched it in years, but fuck me, I guess. That just shows that, you know, I don't know. It's frustrating. And it's like I said, like, I really want to be creative. I really want to be unique and create stuff and do stuff that may not be normal to see on VTubing and stuff like that. Maybe see if I could get a good reach out of it because of it, right? Like the racing stuff and the football stuff and the wrestling stuff especially, right? Like, you know, I've mentioned this before with all three of those things, where, like, the racing stuff I enjoy probably the most out of the three, because it's easy for me to do. It's easy for me to commentate because I've done it for so long. I've got the most experience with it. It's enjoyable. Storylines are incredible. I like that. I like creating storylines. I like doing all that sort of stuff, right? But let me continue on. With football and stuff like that, that's fun as hell for me to do because I like football. I enjoy it. Maybe not a lot of other people do in the VTubing scene, but it's whatever, right? Like, I did the VTuber football tournament because I was like, hey, let's see if this works, right? And to its credit, probably a little bit better than I expected, which is crazy to say the least. But a pain in the ass, logistically, because the games are terrible, but whatever. And wrestling. Now, the wrestling stuff, I probably enjoy just as, if not maybe a slightly less, but still up there with the racing stuff, because, again, storylines, I like doing that. Those are fun. Also, fighting is pretty frequent in VTubing, funny enough. So that's common for a lot of people to see. And especially with pro wrestling, you know, that started taking off with a couple of bigger VTubers doing wrestling events such as, can't name any off the top of my head, whatever. So I was like, why don't I make a federation out of it? So I did, and I did all this work trying to create the characters, trying to create the arenas, making everything as unique as possible so I'm not copying anybody. And yet, all of that work for all 3 of those series, and God, I feel so deflated thinking about how little I feel rewarded out of all of it. I hate saying that, but I don't know how else to say it. Right? Like, I don't know what terminology could be used outside of that to justify my feelings, because I truly just don't. I know all 3 series would be so much better had my you know, whole, yeah, like, I don't know, like, the most deflating part of all of streaming to me is I have done this for 4 years, basically, close enough to it, fuck it, and throughout all of my innovations, throughout all of my trials and errors, throughout all of my ups and downs, I don't feel rewarded. Not as, I should say. I don't feel as rewarded as somebody else would be if they went through the same trouble that I did. If somebody else went through the hassle of making a racing series full of VTubers, making a football tournament, American football tournament might I add, full of VTubers, and a full-blown wrestling federation full of VTubers. Even if they did one of those, they would be more rewarded than I would. That's my thought process. Is it brainworms? I think so. But also at the same time too, when I've been doing this for 4 years and all I've seen is that being proven to me, I don't think so. At the same time. So, like I said, this all is because I'm not good with networking. I hate the process of, it's like fucking trying to get into a relationship with somebody. You have to go through fucking stage. You have to go through the first stage, which is like basic. Yeah, I like this. I enjoy doing this. I like this, you know, and saying, you know, what your favorite color is and your favorite anime and your favorite VTuber and a few favorite games. You gotta say that with everybody 100 times, 1,000 times, tens of thousands of times even, because that's how many fucking VTubers there are, and that's how networking works. But I don't really like that, so I'm just kind of like, yeah, you know, I try to give off a good first impression when anybody new comes in, because that's how, you know, that's how it'd be. But, you know, it just, I hate it so much. I hate networking, and consistency is, like I said, something that everybody that wants to be a creator, they need to have it. But if they don't have it, it's harder to get that expectation to become reality or hit that goal when you can't be consistent. And when I'm not consistent, I'm not hitting what I want to hit. So yes, this is also my fault. I get it. It's, you know, partially my fault for not paying attention to the trends and the algorithm. It's my fault for not wanting to be consistent or forcing myself to stream when I don't want to. And it's kind of my fault for not wanting to put effort, I guess, into streaming. Right? But like I said, I have an abandoned channel that in the back of my mind for the last year, I've been thinking about going back to with the hopes that if I start making videos again, I'd feel more rewarded. Or at the very least, even if I don't get rewarded, I could still feel a sense of enjoyment out of it, right? Because I don't need to be rewarded. I just need to be enjoyed and entertained by what I'm doing. And I don't get that with streaming. Because when I stream, I feel like I could be doing so much more with so much more, if that makes sense. Right? Like, I don't want to sound egotistical. Right? But I feel like my abilities and my potential are much higher than what Twitch and YouTube numbers will tell anybody. Right? And I feel like I kind of have to dumb it down a little bit because well, I probably shouldn't say that. Because that's not true to an extent. I don't know. Like, I'm just kind of venting and rambling at the same time. Because I haven't been streaming for fucking ever, it feels like. And it's just kind of frustrating because I don't want to admit that this has been a failure by me. Right? Because that's a bit extreme, but this has just not worked. It just hasn't worked out from fucking top to bottom. Nothing's worked for me. Nothing's gone my way. Nothing's been going right with streaming. Right? And I'd look over it. I would look past it if it meant that, you know, it was my only platform, like I said. If I were to only be on here and not anywhere else, then I'd be like, you know what? It's the struggle. I'll deal with it the same way everybody else has in the VTubing industry and content creating industry, I guess, as a whole. I would accept it. I would be okay with it, even if it meant that, hey, it could be worse. I could be legit back at square one where I have no connections, no ability to market myself, and none of that to fall back to. That's not the case. No. The reality of this situation is I'm doing something right now with streaming where I've just been more frustrated than not because, again, I put all my energy into doing something. Anything. And it just feels like it's a game of heads or tails. Whether or not I'll be rewarded, successfully rewarded, I should say, or negatively rewarded. Right? Like, is a stream of a race, we'll say, for example, like the VTuber racing series, is a stream of that race, right? Where I spend loads of time setting up the series as a whole and getting it going behind the scenes. Is a stream of that going to reward all that? Or is it just going to leave me feeling like I am still brand new to VTubing? Right? Like, could anybody tell the difference between a stream of mine in terms of numbers from last month to last year? or 2 years ago. Because to me, there's just been minuscule improvements, if any. And that's what's frustrating me the most. Because, like, to say that I've hit my ceiling is the dumbest shit I have ever heard. But I felt like I've hit it. Because I cannot be consistent, I cannot network, I cannot follow that path to success. Which again, I'll say it again, I would be fine with if this was my only platform. This was my only platform where it was the only place where I streamed or did anything. I'd be fine with that. But it's not my only platform. In fact, it's the lesser of the 2 platforms I have currently available. Like I said, with my abandoned channel, it has more of a platform despite it being abandoned for 4 years. Right? Because on the surface, basically on the surface, it has more of a reach. It has more opportunities on the surface. Now, if I go back, I could obviously not have that same, maybe the results would probably not be the same, but that also leads me to another thing, which is, like I said, the expectations. I don't give a shit if a video does good or bad on the abandoned channel because, well, it's my personal channel, to be fair, right? It's the first option. It's the first thing I should say is that it's a personal channel, and a lot of those videos are not necessarily deep cut videos, and they won't be. They're just gonna be, shitpost or whatever, right? Gaming videos for the most part. Who gives a shit about those in the year 2025, right? So fucking, if they do good, they do good. If they don't, I don't care, because hey, those are videos that I could look back on and laugh at with a couple buddies of mine if we so choose to. Streaming, especially when I started, I had a different expectation to it. I was thinking like, hey, I would, pop on a stream, and even if it wasn't a good day, I could still have a few people to talk to actively, or feel like, I don't want to say all the time, but like at the very least feel like I'm being heard. It's been 4 years, and I still have streams where I feel like I have been less heard than before streaming. Right? Like, I'm alone in my house, and I feel more heard in my own house than I do with streaming sometimes. Not all the time, but there has been streams, especially in the past, where I felt like, man, I could have just done this as like not even a recording, and I would still be more heard. Because it's so fucking frustrating. And like, I don't even want to I don't want to be that guy that, like I said, sounds ungrateful or whatever. Like, I try not to be negative on this situation. Kind of have a nice outlook on things. This just ain't it. I'm trying to, stay positive and be like, like I said earlier, I don't really want to quit. Like I said, I want to stream on this channel and record videos on the other channel, right? Just make this channel more of a streaming centered channel. Maybe a few best of highlight videos here or there, but that's neither here or there, right? But whatever. But that would have only worked if it felt like I was going to be able to stream with the ability to knowingly feel heard or feel like it was well worth the investment of time and energy especially, right? Especially after 4 years of this, right? It'd be one thing if it's 1 year. I understand that. I went through that, right? I understand that there might not be any improvements or a growth in a year. Expecting that is kind of dangerous to yourself because that's only setting yourself up for failure. I get that. But to say that I have had any sort of growth in a year and a half, I guess, would kind of feel wrong. Because I feel like I've had no improvements. Or at least no consistent improvements. I mean, like I said, a lot of it is because I haven't really been streaming or haven't really been consistent, but you know, it's kind of hard to when like a part of me is like, hey, I really want to stream. But then in the back of my mind, I'm like, do I really want to spend 4 hours on a stream, or at the very least an hour and a half, I guess? Do I really want to spend an hour and a half on stream only for me to get done with it and feel worse? Like, every time that that has happened, that really has like thrown my mood way down the down the hole. Because like, yeah, it's frustrating. I get it. No, I get it. But yeah, it's just I don't want to be putting time and energy into something that doesn't want to give me anything in return. Even anything. Just anything. I'm not saying it has to be a lot. Not saying it has to be anything crazy. It just has to be something. Right? Like, at least give me the impression that when I get done with a stream that I could be like, hey, you know, if it was good, you know, if I had a really enjoyable time, really clippable moment kind of stream, then I feel like it would be best if it was rewarded with like some sort of like, hey, you know, it was well received, or there was a good amount of people that watched it, or chatted in it, or whatever, like just something, anything. Like, I want something out of this because I've been doing it for 4 years. But I don't know. There'll, you know, always be somebody that'll be like, oh yeah, you know, you're being ungrateful, being too negative for, you know, for what, you know, this is what you should expect with streaming and stuff like that. No, I get it. Like I said. This was my only platform. I would be like, yeah, it's frustrating, but it is what it is. Whatever. But I don't want to continue being on a platform, or on an account, rather. Not a platform, but you know what I mean. Where every time I stream or every time I do something, I feel like I'm getting inferior results compared to what would be if I did the exact same thing or something similar on a different set of accounts. You know what I'm saying? 14, 17 views, but have 900 plus, so both on Nemo. See, for me, I don't even really want to branch out, go elsewhere, or do whatever, because it's just not worth it to me, right? Like, I've gotten to the point where I'm just like, I really think I would be better. I would do so much better, I would say. It wouldn't hurt. It would definitely help if I were to create, like, video packages or videos or clip videos or whatever. Right? Like, it would help if I did that. But there's a part of me that's just like, yeah, but at this point, is there really a reason for me to try hard? Like, I'm just kind of coasting at this point because I'm just like, I don't think I'm going to be doing this for much. Like, I don't think I'm going to go for another 4 years. I don't think I'm going to go for that long. Maybe at most 2, but I feel like I'm only going to get maybe 1 more full year out of it. And even then, I don't even know if I'm going to make it that far. Right? Because I just don't feel like I'm going to get anything crazy by the end of this year in terms of improvement, right? I'm saying this because mostly at the same time too, I'm trying to give as much of a warning shot as possible in case if I do completely graduate, I want as much of as much connections as I have to flock over to the other side. Because the thing is that, yes, there have been a few bad apples during my time as VTubing, but most of those bad apples are gone, and I don't have to deal with them anymore. And with that, that means that I would not mind being over on the other accounts with the same connections. I think it would be better, too, because, hey, look, just because I'm gone from VTubing doesn't mean I'm gone from creating content as a whole or, you know, whatever. I'm still making content. I'm still doing stuff. I'm still alive, right? So, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm giving more of a warning shot as much as I possibly can, where it's like, hey, if I do graduate or stop VTubing, I still have another channel. Where if that channel actually starts popping off, hey, maybe I'll stream on that channel rather than this channel. Right? I don't fucking know. I could maybe revive that Twitch channel, but I also don't really want to because I don't really want to go through that process, not gonna lie. Then again, it's like right now, and it at the very least, I think I could get maybe another year out of this shit beforehand. I just want to focus on making videos on the other channel first before I do anything in terms of anything else on there. So that's the, you know, least of my worries. But yeah, like, that's the frustrating part. The most frustrating. Right? Like, I don't like expressing my frustrations out all the time. But it does suck whenever, like, the last, like, several chatting streams, I've just been frustrated. Like, there's always been something that's frustrating that just gets me riled up and going. Right? But I don't do it on purpose. That's just, you know, it's just like I said, whenever streaming comes up and I get, you know, talking about how my past has been this way and this is how I've been on stream and this is what, you know, this is what I've been dealing with in terms of numbers and the stream numbers and this and this and this. And it's like, dude, Numbers suck. This shit sucks. And it's like, okay, I would understand it if I wasn't doing anything like spectacular or anything crazy, right? Like, understandably so, like if I was just doing nothing but chatting or the boring streams where I was just kind of not doing much of anything, I could understand it, right? But fucking hell, like, trying to do anything unique or insane, right? Like doing any sort of sports commentaries, which I've been trying to focus on more so because I feel like, devoting time to that helps me become, more of a sport broadcaster VTuber than not. At least that's what my thought process was. That, hey, look, this person could broadcast things and commentate at a decent level. Not great, but hey, I don't have a degree in journalism because I haven't been to college yet. So there's that. But yeah, like doing any of those kinds of streams does not feel rewarding. It does not feel gratifying. And in the end, it just kind of makes me feel terrible. Like, I could have just saved the energy, or not saved the energy. I could have just done all that on like a recording and upload it. And it would be just as fine. And I guess speaking of that, there's this update from the VTuber Racing series. After all is said, after all that I said, I'm done streaming it. It's not done. I have not abandoned that series. I'm just not going to stream it. The races will be recorded, pre-recorded, and I'm just going to finish this series up by recording all the races, getting them up on YouTube, and letting it go from there, because I don't think I'm going to have the time to stream the rest of the races. I don't think it's necessarily worth it for me to devote time and energy into those streams when, like I said, I haven't felt rewarded or gratified by them. Not enough, I should say. And I'm just more frustrated that I just can't stream them consistently. Like, that's the main thing, not anything else being the main thing, but rather the main thing being that, hey, I said I was going to do it once a week. I just haven't. I gave up on that. I'm just going to fucking record them, upload them to YouTube, and premiere them, and I don't know. Sorry, Twitch, you're not going to get anything from it, I guess, unless I, do them in a pre-recorded stream, which I don't even know if I could do. Actually, I think I could do, but I don't even know how to set up reruns in this damn thing. If I knew how to set up reruns, I'd probably do it, but it's probably not even worth it at that rate. But yeah, I'm just gonna record the rest of the races, get them up on YouTube, and premiere them all. Pretty much whenever I can. But I really would like to give myself maybe like a couple weeks to prepare, like a small backlog of them. Like I said, not necessarily what I really want to do with the series. I really want to stream it, obviously, but it's unfortunate. I just don't have the motivation to... Not motivation, the consistency to stream it as often as I said I was going to. Right? I mean, it'll open the doors for more streams that aren't commentary intensive. You know, so I may be able to do more chatting streams, be more, you know, maybe I could start streaming just a little bit more often again. Maybe once a week if I can. I don't know. The other thing is like I said, I've been enjoying just, you know, blasting music at full volume while playing either Deadlock or Marvel Rivals or really any game that fills that void in my brain, right? So, because I don't think because like I said, I could stream Deadlock or Marvel Rivals, right? Stream that kind of night, but the issue is that when those games frustrate me, they frustrate the fuck out of me, right? Like, it's peak frustration, right? And it gets amplified when I'm streaming it because, you know, I suck at the games. I suck at them. I'm not gonna lie. Despite my huge number of hours put into the game, I suck at it. And I don't enjoy streaming it when, you know, the competitiveness gets very toxic. I could maybe do it a little bit, like maybe once or twice just to test run it, but I'm telling you, I'm probably not going to enjoy it, but I could try it. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, outside of that, like, you know, my personal life hasn't really been anything too crazy, right? Outside of that Indy 500 trip that I went to back in May, I haven't done anything. Just worked, I started working more. I started getting a little bit more money out of the job, so that's kind of why I also haven't been streaming, because I haven't had the time to. But I'm also, I could try. I don't know, like, there's always a part of me that's like, I really want to continue streaming even after today, but I don't know. Like, do I try more than once a week? Do I try to go twice a week again? I just want to stream, but like, I don't have the energy most nights. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Moving forward, I don't know what to do. I want to stream sometimes, but that feeling is slowly drifting away, and I don't know how to change it. I don't even know if it's worth trying to change it for the better. You know? Like, I've done as much as I can to try and salvage something out of this, but it just hasn't worked. Right? And it's frustrating, it's kind of demoralizing, and it's just kind of frustrating. Mainly. And the whole music situation, that kind of didn't help matters much. But that was more of a personal problem than anything else. Like, that kind of just threw me in a loop. I was going to do this last week, but because of what happened last week, that didn't happen. I didn't even really celebrate the 4th of July, for obvious reasons. I was working. I got to see some fireworks. which was kind of neat. But I didn't go out and do anything special because I was working. But I mean, yeah. I mean, I just don't... Just don't exactly have, like, an idea as to what the future holds. I could try to stream. I could try to do some, like, more interactive streaming instead of the sports commentary streamings, and like I said, just do the VTuber racing stuff as recordings, which will be good on one hand because I could record them most nights when I'm not working, right? Like, hey, if I can't fucking, you know, I don't know if I could stream it, but I can at the very least record it and just, yeah. Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to stream it. I'll tell you that much. Oh, man. It also really does not help that I haven't been really, like, gaming as much. Like I said, the only thing I've done is just kind of played Deadlock or Marvel Rivals. And that's really about it, to be honest. Like, that's really the only games I've been playing. Because, all the other games just kind of don't hit the same. And shit just doesn't fill that void. So I've just kind of been stuck playing the same two games over and over again, which is fine. They fill that time, they fill the gap, and especially with the music and stuff like that, you know, could be worse. But when it's, you know, not gaming, it's editing or trying to figure out what to do with editing and try to figure that stuff out. I've had more fun with that. So I really don't think there's anything much else to say, to be honest. Also, I'm like extremely tired. I am like tired. My voice is kind of killed, but it was already that before I even started the stream anyway. So that was that. So I think I might end the stream here. I'll see. I'll continue to stream this year. I'm not completely done yet with streaming. I at least want to make it to the end of this year before I figure out my decision completely. So I'm going to at least try to stream once every other week to start. Maybe once every week eventually. We'll go from there. The VTuber racing stuff is not going to be abandoned like my first channel. But I am not going to stream it because I'm more than likely I'm not going to, you know, I'm not even going to attempt to try to get back to that consistently again because if I can only stream once every other week or once a week, I'd like to actually stream something where I could be a little bit more interactive. So I enjoy streaming the series, don't get me wrong, but it's just if I'm only going to be streaming once a week or once every other week, I don't want it to be just that. I want to be a little bit more interactive. And with those streams, I kind of can't. So there's that. Yeah. Apologize for not streaming as often, but hopefully there's a logical reason behind it. To those that were here for the reasons. Obviously, I could probably talk more about it. I'm off tomorrow, or I'm off tonight, so I could probably even stream tonight as well, but don't count on it. And if I do stream, don't expect it to be so early in the morning like this. Probably a little bit later, or not later, earlier in the night. But that is if I want to even stream to begin with. I don't know if there's anything I got to do. I think I'll think about that off stream. I'm not going to take the time to do that now. Mostly because I'm tired. I just want to go to bed. So yeah, there's that. On that terrible disappointment, time to end. Follow my Blue Sky. Follow my Twitter. I'm more active on the first one than anything else, I guess. And I will see if I could stream tonight, later tonight, or something along the lines of that. I don't know. Depends on how busy I get. Depends on if I figure out anything. We'll see. We'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. Have a good one.